Welcome to the Sacred Knock Podcast, where the divine speaks and the heart listens. There's a knock, a sacred one. You may not hear it with your ears, but your soul knows it well. I'm your host, Coach Michael Taylor, and I'm inviting you into a sacred space of spiritual awakening, divine insight, and conversations that remind you of who you really are. So, open the door and let your soul receive the wisdom it's been waiting for. Welcome to the Sacred Knock Podcast. Welcome to the Sacred Knock Podcast, where divine wisdom speaks and the heart listens. I'm your host, Coach Michael Taylor, and today I want to share with you one of the most powerful books I've ever read. A book that shifted the way I saw God forever. A book that cracked open the door for my own sacred knock. That book is Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. And when I first came across Conversations with God, I was in a place in my life where I was searching for something deeper. I was no longer satisfied with religious dogma. I wasn't interested in fear-based theology. And honestly, I wasn't sure what I believed anymore. But Neale's story spoke to me deeply. Here was a man who hit rock bottom, who cried out to God, not in church, but in frustration, writing on the yellow legal pad, and to his surprise, God answered. But not with thunder, not with judgment, not with punishment. God answered with love, clarity, humor, and radical truth. And there was one quote in that book that stopped me in my tracks. And it said, God speaks to everyone all of the time. The question isn't to whom does God speak? The question is, who will listen? So let that land. God isn't silent. God isn't hiding. God isn't reserved for saints or prophets or pastors. God is speaking right now through thoughts, through feelings, through signs, through synchronicities, through people, through you. The only real question is, are you listening? That quote became a cornerstone in my own spiritual philosophy. It's one of the reasons I wrote my book, Knock Knock, Who's There? It's Me, God. Because I realized that the sacred knock isn't just a metaphor, it's a lived experience. And just like Neale, I came to believe that God wants to speak with us. Not once, not occasionally, but always. Because God isn't separate from us. God is within us. Reading Conversations with God gave me permission to believe in a God who was loving, kind, honest, and funny. A God who wasn't threatened by questions. A God who didn't need worship but wanted relationship. That changed everything. It helped me rebuild my image of the divine, not based on religion, but based on intimacy. Not based on fear, but based on trust. So today, I want to invite you to reflect on a few questions. Have you ever felt that God was speaking to you, but you dismissed it as just a thought? Have you ever been waiting for a booming voice or a burning bush when really God was whispering in your own heart all along? What would happen if you decided right now that you're not waiting for a message, but that the message is already here? Because here's what I know. The voice of God sounds like love. The voice of God feels like peace. And the voice of God lives within you. So take a few quiet minutes today to sit with this question. If God were speaking to me right now, what might God be saying? And don't try to be perfect. Don't overthink it. Just write. Let your hand move. Let your heart speak. Let the divine flow through you. You might be surprised at what comes through, because You don't have to be holy to hear God. You just have to be open. So, thanks for joining me on this heartfelt episode of the Sacred Knock podcast. And if this touched something in you, I invite you to subscribe, comment, and share it. And if you've never read Conversations with God, do yourself a favor. Pick it up. It just might change your life like it changed mine. And remember, God is always speaking. The sacred knock is always tapping. The only question is, are you ready to listen? Until next time, stay open, stay awake, and stay sacred. I'll see you next episode. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Sacred Knock podcast. We hope this episode has inspired you to listen more closely to the whispers of your soul. If this message moved you, why not share it with someone you love? Because you never know who's waiting to hear their own sacred knock. And if you'd like to dive deeper and download the free ebook, When God Knocks, 5 Divine Reminders to Reignite Your Soul, simply log on to www.knockknockbook.net to download your free gift today. Until next time, stay open, stay tuned in, and always remember, the divine is already within you.